Hello and welcome to the Intel Brief. Today is Monday, 1 September. I'm your host Daniel, and today we're going to talk about Norway has selected a British-made frigate to beef up its maritime defence. The Kremlin spokesperson says Europe is hindering Trump's peace plan efforts. And Rudy Giuliani has been seriously injured in a car accident. So firstly, Norway said on Sunday that it had chosen Britain as its strategic partner for the acquisition of new frigates in its biggest ever military investment in a deal worth some £10 billion to boost the Nordic countries' maritime defence. Germany, France, Britain and the United States had all offered rival frigates, but the UK came out on top. So what? I thought this was just interesting following on from last week's video on naval shipbuilding capacity, and with some serious investment here from Norway, I hope that the UK kind of puts more effort into building up their shipbuilding capacity and ideally becomes a large shipbuilding nation again. Ideally, this would also lead to the United States doing the same to compete, and we can all start building more ships together and counter the looming Chinese problem, but we will see about that. And next, the Kremlin said that European powers were hindering US President Donald Trump's efforts to achieve peace in Ukraine, and that Russia would continue to its operations in Ukraine until Moscow saw real signs that Kiev was ready for peace. Fucking hell. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov told Russian state media reporters that the European party of war was continuing to hinder US and Russian efforts on Ukraine. We are ready to resolve the problem by political and diplomatic means, Peskov said, but so far we do not see reciprocity from Kiev in this. So we shall continue the special military operation. So what? This cunt's full of shit, eh? I think it's highly likely here that this statement is purely designed to drive a wedge between the US and Europe by blaming somehow this conflict on Europe at this point, where it's highly likely that Russia and Putin never wanted a peace deal from Trump, and that they were just going to continue their operation anyway. They've just been trying to delay peace negotiations this entire time, and this is just part of it. I saw rumors over the weekend that Trump said that the US were going to step back from helping with peace negotiations. So basically admitting that they can't do fucking anything to stop Russia at this point, which is a bit shit because there are things they could do to apply more pressure to Russia. Like absolutely destroying their economy, which would be my kind of next arrow in the sheath. So yeah, I don't know. I think this guy's just trying to stir shit between Europe and the US, but to blame it on others it's an impressive level of mental gymnastics to get to this point. So we'll have to see what Trump thinks of it. I mean, there's a real possibility that he bites onto this and starts blaming Europe. But I hope not, because that's just ridiculous. And lastly, the former New York City mayor, Rudy Giuliani, was seriously injured in a car accident near Manchester, New Hampshire on Saturday evening, according to a statement from his security team. Writing on X, the head of his security said Giuliani's rented vehicle had been struck from behind at high speed. He said that Giuliani, who was 81 years old, was transported to a nearby trauma clinic where he was diagnosed with a fractured thoracic vertebrae, multiple lacerations and concussions, as well as injuries to his left arm and lower leg. So what? There's no real value add here. I just thought it would be interesting to kind of get out ahead of the conspiracy theories that are highly likely going to claim that this was an attempted assassination. I'm just waiting for that to happen. But yeah, hopefully he recovers. He is very old, so it's quite possible he never makes a full recovery from this, as at 81, your body's in a pretty bad way. And, you know, seems very serious. But yeah, I don't think there's much here. So thank you for listening to the entire brief. Make sure you go check out this week's YouTube video where I talk about the protests in Indonesia, as it seems like a pretty large scale issue at this point. Thank you, and see you.